man is Mayor Mueller Vander from the Imperial Army. That woman is Senior Captain Julius Schwartz, commander of the Royal Guard of LeBeur's Royal Army. What a treat to see two distinguished soldiers in the same place. Actually, they seem to be acquainted with one another. What if they have some kind of history? Oh, they certainly do. Senior Captain Schwartz. I'd love coming into work every day if she were my boss. Hey, what the heck am I thinking? I gotta snap out of it. I'm way too relaxed for such an important post. Good to see you again, SSS. Mind giving us a status report? Nothing to report for now. How about the two of you? Have you learned anything? Unfortunately not. Things have been quiet. The Empire is exhausting all avenues as well. No leads have come in from either the Reformist faction or the Noble faction. That's unfortunate. Neither from both major Imperial factions, eh? Seem like real peaches to work with. Yesterday, Prince Oliver mentioned the possibility of creating a third faction, didn't he? Been on my mind ever since. Don't mind, Major. Could you tell me more about what he intends? Good question, Ellie. Indeed. Truth be told, his goals go beyond simply remaining neutral. I'm not supposed to be saying much, but I don't think there's any harm in sharing a little bit with the SSS. I suppose, metaphorically, you could say the Prince is trying to clear some long-standing barriers. Lloyd's like, barriers? What? What's this about barriers? Let me at them! A few barriers in the way sounds all too familiar. Basically, there are irreconcilable differences between the Noble and Reformist factions. Yet that's not stopping him. He's going to try to have the two come to terms anyway, as absurd as it is. Prince is trying to have the Reformists and Noble factions reconcile. Underestimated just how idealistic he is. Isn't the schism between those two as wide as the canyon itself? Wesley, don't be so rude. He's absolutely right. The Prince has been dancing with a monster for over a year now, and isn't afraid to think outside the box. People have been saying much worse behind his back. They see him as a showy, debaucherous bastard prince whose only concern is his hobbies. That's fine with me. I decided to stand by him regardless. I think that's admirable. It's just as Prince Claudia has said. The Prince will always have an ally in LeBeau, Major Mueller. We may not be able to always intervene directly, but we'll assist the two of you in any way we can. Thank you, Senior Captain. I'm truly grateful. The Prince must truly be loved to have so many valuable allies. Don't know if I'd go that far, but there's no question that he has an effect on people. Still, the best thing that could happen today would be this trade conference ending without incident. That's all I want. I'll be counting on you should the time come, Special Support Section. The time will come. The best thing that could happen today is the trade conference passing without incident. I'll be counting on you should the time come, Special Support Section. I believe I saw Her Highness coming from the direction of the stairwell not long ago. She's too strong to let someone like him weaken her resolve today. I'm worrying about nothing. Is she talking about Lecter? Sounds like there's some history there. Please inform me if you find anything amiss during your security patrols. I'll also report anything I see to the security command room on my end. Phew, the dignitaries all have such commanding presences. Can't help but hold my breath every time they walk through here. I don't know why I spoke to you again. You wouldn't have anything new. Wait, I can go here now? Okay, let's see if anything's happened down there with those guys then. They moved. This is the thing, the reporters have moved then, clearly. I have to go check. Ding dong. Well, clearly they're not, because I can't get through. Ah! That was weird. Oh, it's because of turbo, isn't it? I'm turboing past that too quickly. That's what happened there. Who was there? You were. I knew trying to sneak onto the VIP floor was a bad idea. Maybe even is Grace right now. Intermission will be over soon. May as well grab something to drink while I still can. Break time's almost over. Time to get back to work. Need to start preparing for the second half of the conference. The first half of the conference is finally in the books. Not stressful, but the discourse is only going to get more heated in the second half. It's almost time for the climax. It's a shame we can't stay on the same floor as the dignitaries, but Should still be plenty of opportunities to grab material. I should use this time to review the outline of questions I'd like to get in. Thankfully, the reporters have given up trying to sneak their way upstairs. I get they're trying to do their jobs, but so am I. Guess reporters are the same no matter where you go. Pushy. Alright, back we go. He's got a meeting with a certain someone down here. That must be the Chancellor's room. The intermission will likely be over by the time we're done speaking with him. We should take care of anything else we need to do beforehand. Like speak to Oliver, or Olivert, depending on how he is, I don't know. Was he going to the room? He could be either. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're looking for Mayor Croy, he's in Prince Olivert's room at the moment. Speaker McDowell, on the other hand, can be found in Prince Albert's room in the West Wing. I believe you'll be allowed to visit both rooms if you'd like to. We're halfway home. Now we have to survive the conference's second half. Things are only going to get more difficult from here. I'll be wishing the Mayor and Speaker good luck. Here we go. I see. We share the same hopes for the bright men and women that will be leading our homes someday. That we do. What's special about them is their hearts and minds are like a pure garden basking in the morning dew. That's why more and more of... Oh, hello, Special Support Section. Care to join in our chat? Sure, if we're not interrupting, that is. What were the two of you discussing? His Highness here happens to be on the board of directors at a prestigious military academy in Erebonia. Just discussing the finer details of his duties. Board of directors? Those are the people responsible for how the school is operated, yes? Got a lot on your plate, don't you? It's only another one of my little schemes to get my name out there. I think the mayor here is doing far more than I am. Mayor Croy is involved too? Simply means as a business partner. The IBC is Epstein Foundation's benefactor. It just so happens the Foundation is involved in a major test occurring at the Academy. Oh, I'd like to know more about this. That would mean you've indirectly contributed. That does remind me. I have heard that orbital network tests have also begun in the Empire. No surprise the continent's largest bank is holding clout in every country in some form or another. Quite right. I think our little talk today was preordained by the goddess herself. What do you say to being a guest lecturer at the Academy one day if the opportunity arises? Though I'll have to warn you that teacher-student relationships are strictly prohibited. Sarah? How does it feel like you're reciting that from perfect memory? You do sound like quite the popular fellow, Prince Oliver. I may have to steal you away for a night of drinks myself once this is all over. I'd love nothing more, my friend. It'd be a rousing good time. Looks like His Highness and Uncle have really hit it off. I'll say. Guess they're more similar than I thought. Since we're on the subject, mind if I ask how well you hold your liquor? I'd like to think I can hold my own when the libations begin to flow. Though I've certainly met my match before. An interesting reaction. The Prince looks like he is reminiscing about something. Right. Maybe he has fond memories of a drinking buddy or something like that. I love this moment, just because it's like, I know what they're on about from, again, two angles. I know about the drinking scenario, and I know what's going on about in regards to the Erebonia Academy. It's like, it makes so much sense. It just, I love it. Just, I love the fact he's sort of like, right. The time has come. You're the SSS group from the Crossbell Police, correct? His Excellency is waiting for you inside. Don't keep him waiting. Right. Pardon us. He's exuding arrogance. Classic Imperial Army. Overbearing as all Gehenna. Excuse us, Chancellor Osborne. Announcing the arrival of the CPD Special Support Section. Thank you for having us. Do come in. Magnificent view, isn't it? It's fascinating to think that mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. We're standing in proof that we've finally reached the glory the ancient civilization once had. Maybe so. Are you referring to the ancient Zemurian civilization from over 1,200 years ago? Everything I've heard about the ancient civilization makes it sound like they more or less had magic at their fingertips. It wasn't necessarily a utopia, mind you. During last year's Laberl incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. That city was constructed before the Great Collapse. It was sealed away by human hands. It was a symbol of both mankind's potential and its hubris. Our hubris, but our potential too. Sounds like you know a lot about what's happening around the continent. Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbell is concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest, Joachim Gunther, did. How do you... It's what we don't know that makes the world so interesting. If you had everything in the palm of your hand, life as we know it would be helplessly mundane. Don't you agree, Wazzy Hemisphere? So you've heard of me too. Do you only go so far as to learn my name? I hope you're not trying to expose all my dirty little secrets. Perish the thought. I have no particular interest in doing so. I have much more interest in the successor to the War God. Yeah? Purely intelligence division, I take it? Your ability to gather information is second to none. Where are my manners? I'm head of state of the Erebonian Imperial Government, Gilead Osborne. I've heard much about you from Lecter. Care to join me for a friendly chat before the intermission ends? Well then, Chancellor. What is it you wanted to discuss with us? You already seem all too aware of everything that is happening right now. Don't overthink it. This is merely a polite conversation. Hence why the music has now gone down and is clearly going to be replaced with something that's ominous. That is something I would like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yes. I'll be frank. Frank Osborne. How long do you think your precious Crossbell will last? I told you, ominous music. That's a loaded question, isn't it? On the contrary, it's not out of malice. History tells us that no government lasts forever. To say nothing of the Orbital Revolution, which has accelerated all aspects of our current era. I'll say, we're advancing so fast. It's a problem. How much longer can a land as contested as Crossbell withstand the coming turbulence of this era? I'm not sure. Forever. As long as there are citizens in this state who have the will to protect it. Well, true. Having a strong will is important. Resolve, one might say. There are rare instances in time where trends are bucked and the course of history itself is changed. The people are never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential their resolve can hold. Then you agree. However, what happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two will be engulfed, fanning the flames of revolution even further. Eventually, that hellfire will swirl and make its way to the surface. The justice and ethics of the past will decay in the searing heat until the world itself is ablaze. Surely you can see it on the horizon. I can understand how, compared to the Empire or the Republic, Crossbell's resolve would seem insignificant. But even if one is smaller, that doesn't make it lesser. It's not a foregone conclusion the larger one will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Laberl repelled the Imperial Army. Oh, that's right. The 100 Days War from 12 years ago. Well played. Resolve is ultimately a question of tenacity. Laberl was small but tenacious. It overcame the shambolic effort the Empire put forward. As much Crossbell could stand to glean from that moment in time. However, I am unconvinced that Crossbellans hold the same pride and conviction that Liberlians do. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming to an end. It almost slipped my mind. Don't expect medals from the Imperial government. The nobility becomes even more irksome when awards are given to commoners. Like a little like sly smile there. That almost sounded like it sounds like he's really coming down hard on them, but it's like, if you actually analyze that and think about what he was saying, it's almost as if he was trying to fire them up. To be like, it doesn't have the resolve yet. It's almost as if he's saying, be that resolve. Because it doesn't have one. If you don't have one, you can't stand against us. Which is interesting. Why, like, assuming that's correct, that's what I'm thinking anyway. Why is he trying to fire them up? Why is he trying to give Crossbell a chance? That's strange. Consider yourselves fortunate. I rarely see His Excellency in such a good mood. Yeah. Now, normally he's tearing people down and making them act certain ways, but what, like, he's still doing that, but this time it's the opposite way. He's clearly trying to get them motivated. Why? What? Are you kidding me? Seems to have taken a liking to you. Yeah. I understand it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I suggest you accept what he had to say. Though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that, given my position. You can't be serious. That man is a damned monster. Right, but we have to take his perspective for what it is and not let it affect us. No, let it affect you. He's helping you? Hey, Tio? You okay? Yes, I'll be fine. The imagery he was describing was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded was all. Can't blame you. It was like I could feel the flames he was describing breathing down my neck. Calling the Blood and Iron Chancellor a monster is putting it lightly. He believes he holds the whole of Crossbell in the palm of his hand. Yeah. But there's more to it. It's not that simple. It's like, it is like he's saying, like, I have Crossbell in the palm of my hand, and I could easily squash it if I wanted to. Make it so that doesn't happen. That's kind of what I was feeling like he was going towards. Like he was, again, he's trying to fire them up. Why? Maybe. But I'm convinced that he called us here to torment us, believe it or not. Yeah, thank you, Lloyd. Same goes for President Rocksmith. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine, for better or worse. Rocksmith I'm not as convinced of. But that may be because I don't know him enough to know how he works, whereas, like, Osborne, it's very much like... That was a great conversation you had there. It's like, it's got me fired up, because it's like, what are you up to? What are you doing? Like, even though, again, I played COD Steel, I know the events that are going to take place here. Even then, I'm like, what are you up to? Let's just take it for what it's been. A learning experience. That's one way to look at it. I think this is an aspect of you that we can all learn from. You're telling me leave it to Lloyd to see the glass is half full. But he's right. There's no use in letting this slow us down. Of course there isn't. We can use this moving forward. Now that intermission is over, our next step is obvious. Let's head back to Dudley and report how the two conversations went. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Name of the game, everyone. Name of the game. Same day, 4:30 p.m. Just as Mr. Grimwood had predicted, the discourse became more turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith continued to raise question after question aimed at Crossbell's security and future. As the conversation wore on, the looks on Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell's faces became even more sullen and stern. The heart of the problem is that a lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder in a single night, no less. Furthermore, half of Crossbell's state guard fell under their control. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. Be that as it may, I thought we had already fully covered those details. The details are not what is in question. It is the quality of your state's crisis management that we're concerned about. You cannot deny the lives and property of Imperial citizens were threatened during that incident. What do you have to say to that? Hold for just a moment, Chancellor. Preparation procedures already took place regarding the cult incident. Asking for further mirror on top of it will only serve to cast Erebonia in an unfavorable light. Mirror is not the issue either, Your Highness. The Crossbell state government has still yet to answer how it can guarantee true security. There's a need to protect the lives, property, and economic interest of all those in and tied to Crossbell. Is such protection guaranteed from a state constantly in political gridlock and susceptible to top-down corruption? Pardon me, but I'd heard former Speaker Hartman was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. Crossbell's political system has been shown capable of correcting itself. Wouldn't a new security system suffice? I must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't think it will be that easy. Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature. With that said, I of course know that Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell here are outstanding statesmen. However, what would happen to Crossbell without them? How quickly would things regress without their leadership? Corruption exists in every form of government. That is not true of only Crossbell, but of my kingdom as well. That taken into consideration, would it not be best for us to observe whether the Speaker and Mayor can bring political reform during their terms? Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe that is rather naive of you. I understand why you would be hopeful. However, Crossbell is much different than a monarchy such as Laberle. It is easy to undermine the political system of somewhere that has no central or traditional authority. History has proven that time and again. That may be true, but if I may, my country also does not have a monarchy, but an honorable public charter. It was an impressive undertaking by various powers and groups that gathered after our revolution 100 years ago. With that charter in place, our country knows our system can survive and improve, even if it may at times, too, be stricken with corruption. So you say, it is not as though our autonomous state law isn't without its own pride and honor. It's true that in our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light. However, so too is it that we have been improving upon them slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask how many additional laws and amendments have been passed by Crossbell's government in the past 10 years? But of course, I do not have the exact figure in front of me, however, I would estimate 50 in total. Just 50 in 10 years, I'm surprised. It's an average of only 5 a year. Perhaps, though the rate has been increasing in recent years. There were 12 laws passed last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but admittedly, many of those pertained to additions in finance and the establishment of the Osborne network. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume that a meaningful new security framework would be implemented quickly. As I suspected, it would be wiser to seek alternative solutions in the interim. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I'll be. I didn't realize the two of you had become such good chums. Would you care to also settle the territorial dispute over the Nord Highlands today while you're at it? Point well taken, Your Highness. I'll have to leave discussing that matter for another day. Time is growing short, gentlemen. I'll advise we move on to other proposals. Very well. Then as proposed by His Excellency, let's review. Nord Highlands. This is bad. It is exactly like Mr. Grimwood warned us it would be. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President are going knives out on Crossbell right now. Is there nothing the Mayor or Speaker can say in objection? They're right that Crossbell's state laws have several structural flaws. And it's making it harder for grandfather and uncle to deny what they're saying. Maybe, but those flaws were built into Crossbell by the major powers during its founding 17 years ago. They're using that to their advantage to force their unreasonable demands. They scripted things to go down like this from the very beginning. As I've told you before, the discourse of the conference itself has nothing to do with us. Doesn't stop us discussing it though, Dudley. Keep your heads on straight and see to it that we make it through today. Yeah, sorry about that. In that case, should we begin another page? This is Dudley, 1st Division. Emma, has something... What? What's going on? Something must have happened. Red Constellation and Heiyue are both on the move. They've already shaken our surveillance. No way. What? Don't panic. We knew this could happen. Stay alert. I'll keep you posted if there are any further developments. Understood. Now's as good a time as ever. Should begin mobilizing our reserve forces. Damn, this is really gonna go down, huh? What the hell are they planning? Randy. Try to keep you cool, Randy. We know the Red Constellation isn't the real threat. Right. The brunt of the police force is protecting the entrance of the building. They can't possibly be hoping for a fight like that, can they? Everything we know says that's unlikely. Them moving isn't good news, though. What was that you just said? What's going on down there? Grandfather? Your Excellency, what was that you just said? My apologies, but would you please repeat yourself? I'll gladly say it as many times as you'd like. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force. In its place, have the security forces of other countries permanently stationed in Crossbell. That is the most logical course of action. And please, wait a moment. Surely you are not forgetting the terms of the Non-Aggression Pact, Chancellor Osborne. Of course not. We agreed to not use force to solve disputes in or over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at invasion. I am merely stating the obvious. A useless, pseudo-military organization that loses control and threatens its own people's lives should be disbanded. In practice, the Crossbell Guardian Force is inconsequential when placed before the Imperial or even Republican armies. In front of true tanks, the CGF's armored cars may as well be made of paper. To say nothing of the drain on Crossbell and Mira it costs to maintain. Leave matters of state security to foreign military forces. This is the best and most cost-effective solution for a mere autonomous territory. I think that is far too radical of an option. And just how do you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Are you suggesting that it be in the Imperial Army? I don't recall saying that. Then again, I'm willing to forgive Crossbell's past transgressions and offer the Imperial Army's assistance if necessary. It's a small price to pay for the sake of peace in West Zemuria. Wouldn't you say? Good. Settle down, everyone. There's no reason to get so worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit drastic. However, I share his opinion that the CGF leaves much to be desired and is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security. Oh? What would you propose, then? This is only a suggestion, but I would propose beginning with mass reduction of Guardian Force enrollment levels. In exchange, Calvard will assume responsibility for Tangram Gate, and Erebonia can do the same for Bellegarde Gate. That way, both armies will be able to respond to emergencies even here in Crossbell City. Isn't that no better, Mr. President? It's worth consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off staunch political opposition. Not compared to you, Chancellor. You are forming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of disgruntled nobles. This can't be happening. I've heard enough. You are aware there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference, yes? Pardon me, Your Highness. The President and I may have gotten a little sidetracked. Still, the direction of the conversation is obvious. Would you two mind giving us your opinions on the idea? That's terrible. Absurd is more like it. Takes some serious balls to say any of this with a straight face. Hate to say it, but it's not as though their proposals don't have any basis. Still, I was hoping things wouldn't come to this. This might be the part where we hope they can hold out just a little bit longer. Now, of all times. Copy Dudley. Banning's here. Hey, it's Sergey. Chief Sergey, what's going on? No time. I'll keep it short. Sonia just called me. Radar trackers near Tangram and Belgard were destroyed. Same ones being used as anti-air radar to detect any potential invading ships in Crossbell's airspace. What? He suspects it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Dudley in. I'll tell you what I told him. Be careful and get ready. Roger that. What's wrong? Is it my uncle and the others? No, not them. It was... Please, everyone, may I have your attention? Regarding your concerns over security measures, I would like to offer my own suggestion. Oh? I thought you'd been staying a little too quiet. Let's hear it. What do you suggest? Very well. I was thinking...
The
time has come. What? Airships? Yeah. There's no way. Is it the terrorists? They came all the way here? Don't worry, the windows are bulletproof. Tempered glass. But to be safe, I'd ask that you all back away from the window. Are you alright, Your Highness? Yes, I'm fine. The airship just now was a high-speed Rheinford model. Yes, there's no mistaking it. The other was a Verne Company military gunship. Right. This aligns with the reports of one having been stolen. Yes, thank the goddess. Never mind that. Where did they go? Good. You should be able to hear me now. Conference attendees. Allow me to introduce ourselves. We are the Imperial Liberation Front. And we represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect the traditions and sanctity of our beloved Calvard. What? Two terrorist groups active in the Empire and the Republic? We have formed an alliance to topple our respective enemies. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gilead Osborne. President Rocksmith, you've met your end. To protect the traditions of Calvard from the abomination of the East, we will stop at nothing. How foolish. Utter nonsense. Yeah, but this ain't looking too good. Here they come. Like it's just a thing, like Gideon's here. Sorry, G is here. This is like one of them is going to be Gideon, right? G. I'm liking like the subdued music here. They're headed straight for us. Damn it. This is why those blueprints were there. Regardless, we need to have the CGF unit on standby move. What? What the heck? Why would it... What's happening? Not good. There's no response from the panel. What in Adios' name is going on? What about my scoop? Do something, Reigns. What am I supposed to do, Grace? This is far from ideal. Hooker's tower systems must be under their control. It's likely the work of the hacker from yesterday. We have to move. Let's get to the 35th floor and protect the dignitaries. Roger. Lloyd, if the elevator's out, then we gotta head for the emergency stairs.